I created a 20,000 word textbook of 52 pages on how to play Kewl Tune perfectly. It's dropping in an hour and a half. This video right now is a free preview of my official Kewl Tune textbook. 52 pages, 20,000 words, 100,000 characters. That's right. Five letters per word. Grade 4 English style. Let's go. I didn't write any of this shit with AI. I used the only AI that's necessary. My brain! Even smarter than any AI! So let's get straight into this video. A free preview from my boys for the 100 days, 100 Kewl Tune videos. Let's get started. If you didn't get your class yet, that's Masterclass. I added, it was full. There's 150 people, full seats. I added 25 more slots for you to join last second. I go live. I answer all your questions. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern time today, and I go over this entire 52-page booklet. With that being said, let's get straight into this. For those that can't afford a Masterclass right now, or can't afford 40 USD, don't spend your money on a Masterclass. If you cannot afford 40 USD, or it's like Yu-Gi-Oh is a hobby for you, and there's no reason to put up money for, mastering a deck when you don't even go to locals, I do not advise a Masterclass for you. This is for the players that know you want to win or top Columbus. You want to go to Nats and do well and get your first top. You've been spending thousands of dollars in Yu-Gi-Oh in your lifetime, but not getting the results. That's what this class is for. It's for the players that want to take the next step in Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's what this is for. This is not for your newer player that doesn't really play too much or care too much. I want to emphasize that, because what this class is for, I would say, is a little bit over your average Yu-Gi-Oh player's skill. Once you are past that beginning stage, you played Yu-Gi-Oh for a few years, and you're like, you know what? It's about fucking time I get some tops. I don't have enough tops yet. It's time to level up my Yu-Gi-Oh game. If that's you and you play this game a lot, you think about it a lot, this class is for you. Kewl Tune is the definition of this, the epitome of winning for free, and I'm going to teach you that not only in this whole class, but even for free on my channel. If you have a few extra bucks, you're gonna like it. It took me 100 hours to make, more than 100. I even skipped Weiss's Columbia and let Julian get another ring just so I could finish this perfectly. Anyways, now that that's all done, let's get straight into the video. The Kewl Tune Masterclass! Let's go! Yummy, I don't want to play with you anymore. I'm only loyal to my next trophy. And that's what this whole video is. And that's what my whole masterclass is. How to win with Kewl Tune. Yummy's already long gone and done. The only thing I care about right now is Kewl Tune. Fuck Yummy. Alright, I'm only loyal to my next win. That's it, my next trophy. That's the only thing I care about. I'm going to teach you everything you know about Kewl Tune, the most toxic Gophers deck in the history of all time. I'm only loyal to my next trophy, except my wife. I'm loyal to her too. Love you, babe. Let's go. I don't want to play with Yummy anymore. It's us. Now, a lot of people think that Kewl Tune has a super poly weakness. That's not true. Due to the fact that you're able to look at your opponent's hand and understand exactly what's in their hand, you play accordingly. This deck is very similar to like football. I understand Yu-Gi-Oh football. Oh, sports ball, bro. Football, and Tom Brady especially, is known for a very special skill. His special skill is basically being Pegasus. He knows exactly what the defense is doing. He recognizes what the defense is doing at the exact same time the defense knows it. He would with new players, when he'd get the ball at the from the offensive line from the center, and you go to the running back, sometimes he would even say aloud to new running backs, "They're blitzing." Like, he'll know what the defense is doing before they're even like thinking about it, and that's what this deck capitalizes on. It's audibling and understanding exactly what your opponent's on and doing the basic exact specific play that would win in that scenario. So what does this mean? Okay, cool, bro. This is like football. Cool, bro. What an analogy, bro. Cool. Rotary, Millennium Rotary. Cool, man. You get to know their hand. Everyone knows that shit. But what does that mean for this deck? It means that this deck is not a spreadsheet deck. This is very fucking important in the beginning understanding and theory of this deck. To really understand how Kewl Tune works, you have to really like get inside the brain of Kewl Tune and understand, how can I win this game? This is not your average, what does the spreadsheet combo deck say, little bro? what does the spreadsheet say, bro? Let me do that. No. This is a play that a deck that if you thought Yummy on the opponent's turn was difficult, I'm not saying this is difficult, but you gotta understand what every deck your opponent's playing, and you gotta understand how to combo on the opponent's turn. You're gonna have about 6-7 summons on the opponent's turn, And you're going to need to learn exactly how to do that properly, which is why the Millennium Rotary that's what this class is for, and that's even what this mini video is for. I'm going to do my best here to kind of teach you guys theory-wise. It's very, very, very fucking important. I cannot stress this enough. Whether you join my class or not, or just you're watching this video and you watch my free videos I post on Kewl Tune all the time. I post more Kewl Tune free Kewl Tune videos than anyone out there. You got to understand that theory that no combo will ever be the same. Yes, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I'm gonna fast forward here to a part where my combos. I want you guys to be to listen very closely. Okay, look at what this page says. I'm gonna fast forward to page 25. Kewl Tune on opponent's turn. I got this from Simpsons. I'm expecting Discord pics of all of this written down. Write this down 5 times. I'll write it 100 times for you to remember how important it is. I will always end on Zalin and Kewl Tune. I will always end on Zalin and Kewl Tune remix. I will always end on Zalin and Kewl Tune remix. I will always end on Zalin and Kewl Tune remix. I will always say it with me 5 times out loud. I will always end on Zalin and Kewl Tune remix. I will always end on Zalin and Kewl Tune remix. You gotta write this. I wrote this down 100 times for you guys to truly understand the importance of this. By ending on Zalin and Kewl Tune remix on your turn, what that does is your opponent's turn becomes easy. The combo is, well, I'll get to the combo. If you guys don't know what the combo is, like how to do that. It's more so sequencing on the opponent's turn, which is what this here is for. I'm going to go over this right now. You need to end on Zalin and Kewl Tune remix on your turn to be able to, on your opponent's turn, summon freely as much as you like. KTS and the second KTS and clip are additional in addition to the remix and the Zalin. No matter what you do, you must end on Zalin and remix unless you get hit with Fua, where the option to that is basically you're setting up Zalin remix in your opponent's draw phase by having KTS as set. I teach this in the class. You need to go Zalin remix. Now, the reason why you go Zalin remix, it allows you to get the highest value of back-to-back loudness mix remix. You basically trigger all graveyard effects of every single one of your Kewl Tunes on your opponent's turn while protected by Zalin. There are multiple plays you can do a Crackle, where you go Crackle remix immediately in the draw phase via KTS. However, what that does is it doesn't set you up for success, basically, where most plays or most times you look at your opponent's hand, there will at least be one board breaker hand trap you have to deal with. For example, there will be a Ghost Spell, there will be an Ash, there will be a Harmonia, there will be an Imperm, there will be a Called By, there might be 2 versions of this, there might even be a fucking draw play. You need to prepare in your mind a perfect setup of, they'll probably have one of them, but at least if I set up Zalin and Remix on the opponent's turn, then I could do this combo. Zalin, 1 Kewl Tune, any Kewl Tune starter equals 10 interruptions. And it's by the first action that your hand trap does an outright stop, use Remix to SS add, then Zalin negate and destroy their first action. If they have a card to stop what I'm about to show you with this combo, the basic combo of this deck, you save your Zalin to negate and destroy that. You then SSQ, add the search hand trap that the Q would special, typically Ash. If you hard drew it, it'll be Veiler. And then you make Q and Zalin into back-to-back. You trigger the Q on your opponent's turn because that implies you get to look at 4 cards from your opponent's top deck and banish at least one out of the 4 looks, 2 on your turn, 2 on their turn. Your second interrupt will be the searched hand trap or back-to-back, depending on the how valuable the hand trap is at that moment. Back-to-back will summon Maker on your opponent's first turn, adding a card. Then back-to-back will summon Mix, and you synchro summon with the Maker and the Mix that you added from the Maker. And then the Mix or Rico that you special, like let's say you special Rico with the back-to-back, you add a Clip. And this way you don't actually need KTS because you're adding Clip via the Rico or that. This way you get more pops. And the Rico and the Clip will get the RS. And you get Loudness. And in total, this is 10 interruptions with the 1 to 3 hand traps you'll have in your hand. It'll be 7 hand traps. 7 interruptions with 1 card. But seeing as how it's 1 card and you're playing a 20 hand trap deck, typically you have 3 other hand traps totaling 10. This is the base that you need to follow, but it all depends on what your opponent has, which is why I'm saying the best way to play this deck is not hope that they don't have an Imperm or Bell. You want to go for the Bell remix the remix Zalin setup, and from there you pivot. So the Zalin remix allows you to pivot if they have 1 board breaker. If they have 1 board breaker, such as Bell, Harmonia, Imperm, Called By, Ash from KTS, whatever, you could Zalin negate if it's necessary. Board breakers that are a little more difficult to interact with are Forbidden Crown, but here's the way you deal with Forbidden Crown. Now, depending on the other non-engine, you could go Zalin remix and continue as you're doing, go Zalin remix pass through the Crown. But what you need to do with that is make sure you have multiple KTSs set. What this puts your opponent's situation at is they very much so will because you have KTS set. They cannot wait for you to Zalin negate something. They chain Crown, and then what? Then you chain KTS, Synchro off the Zalin negate resolves. So the play that they're forced to do is go Crown in draw phase. If they Crown draw phase, they're forced to basically get rid of to negate your Zalin. If they don't negate your if they negate your Zalin, you smile, you remix, you go back to back anyways in the play. If they negate your remix, that's where the second Zalin for me comes up. I do have second Zalins in my no Harmonia builds where you allow them to do it. But what I would do in that situation, let's say they have the Zalin, here's what you would do. Let's say you have typically your board is Zalin Remix double KTS. You set your double KTS. If they go Crown in draw phase, you flip up your 1 KTS. You use your Remix. Because you can't chain monster effects, but you can chain spell effects. So you go, you have Zalin Crown Remix. They activate Crown. You can also go chain KTS, chain Zalin to negate the Crown. It's only that you cannot respond monster effects to the Crown. So by having KTSs, you actually play around the Crown to a high level. You can even allow them to negate your Zalin if necessary, because back-to-back can just resummon the Zalin later on in your turn. So that's how you play around Imperm, because Imperm, they're going to Imperm basically the moment that they have an opportunity to do before they activate a card. They cannot wait to play a card to activate Imperm, because then they have a card in the field, Imperm does fuck all. So what they're going to do with Imperm, as opposed to the Crown, where with Crown, you just activate KTS and then negate the Crown with Zalin. Or you go activate KTS, remix, add a hand trap, summon a tuner. What do you want to negate, bro? They negate the Zalin. Cool. Then you activate another KTS or a clip to get back-to-back, and then the back-to-back will resummon Zalin. Then you get the Zalin negate later on in the turn. So Crown doesn't actually matter too much. And if they save Crown for later, they run the risk of going Zalin negate, Crown, quick synchro into a back-to-back. The negate pull was resolved, and all your hand trap will resolve. Your remix, your RS, your mix, all that will still resolve. So that's how you play around Crown. Super Poly, I have a whole Super Poly replay sheet. Where is it? I also have 60 replays here. It's actually right here. Yeah, anti-Super Poly. And this line right here, there's a lot of fantastic info for you. Don't be a loser. Look, Super Poly's are broken. It just was cool to bro. I mean, I like drinking with you, bro. That's a fucking loser nerd sounds. Okay, be cool. Don't be a fucking pleb loser. Super Poly doesn't actually matter, okay? The reason why is that you're going to end on a board that's kind of irrelevant to it. I have 2 anti-Super Poly lines that I'm going to just show you guys right now, because these lines are actually very, very good, and I thought that this was common knowledge. You'll be surprised how little knowledge some common knowledge is. Like, it's not so common. I screwed up that white saying. Let me adjust this a little bit here. You guys don't need to see my face totally maxed out. Actually, yeah, you do, actually. Alright, I know it's going to be super zoomed in, but I just want you guys to really, like, look at my actual field, okay? You're going to play your turn as per usual, alright? You're going to summon a card, Rotary Q. I like, if I have Mix or Rotary, or Mix, Rico, or Q as my only normal summon play, I like doing something that's not Q, because in the situation where it does, like Q is the easiest stop ever, sometimes they let Mix or Rico go thinking you have something else. You go Rotary Maker, always Q1, Rotary 2 Maker, 3. Harmonia is fucking useless. If they Harmonia you right now, you go like, cool, bro. And then 4 hand traps and full combo anyways. Harmonia is the most useless fucking card in the game, seriously. Right now, if you think Harmonia is good in the mirror, you need to you have not played the mirror enough. You're a fucking idiot. Anywho, you see Super Poly in their hand due to Rotary. So you could, this is one option. I'm going to show you guys another one. You could go Zalin right now if you like that on Zalin, and you're going to end up with all these hand traps and still win. However, there's another line that I feel is a little bit better than that. That's a little bit more risky. You go JJ to Tribute the Maker. Sorry, not risky. It's more safer. You go JJ Tribute Maker, set up Mix and the Ash into Remix. You have 3 hand traps. Immediately on their first action, you're going to add Ash Blossom. So through Super Poly, mind you, you're also looking at the top deck. So this is through Super Poly. You have 4 hand traps. Super poly shit. Super poly doesn't combo for them. You give them a brick. They probably already hard drew a brick. They have 3 actual pushes. So against 3 pushes, are you telling me that you're gonna defeat Bell, Mourner, Imperm, Ash with Clip setting up at any time you need with KTS? In addition, look at this. You could even, when you have a pop potential, you go Clip mix pop something. You could then go Maker search a follow up. You can KTS to add something. Look at this. Then just go Zalin, and then you bounce something, MST something. Then you have a Zalin negate. That's 8 total interruptions versus their 3 pushes. Do you really think Super Poly does anything? In addition, if they play a deck that's like lights, they have lights. They have lights. You don't give them opportunity to put Maker in the field. You essentially go remix Maker immediately up to Zalin to make it so they can't Super Poly for Mud Dragon with their light. And now if they have a Dark, which is the most common option, you never end on Zalin. You never ever fucking end on Zalin. Because you don't want them to Mud Dragon. Obviously, you'll never end on 2 tuners. That's obvious. You're not giving them Zalin remix on a crystal platter, silver platter to super poly both. What you want to do is go against dark decks is go loudness, Maker into loudness, because that gives you 2 lights or 1 light. So they can't DCS and they can't Mud Dragon either. My second anti-super poly play that I want to show you guys here in my 52-page textbook that's 20,000 words that I highly recommend. Class is starting very shortly. I highly recommend you guys go. This is going to be the last part of the free class. Is what happens if you draw all engine. If you guys saw the other super poly combo, I drew 3 hand traps and I searched the 4th. I have fucking 4 engine cards and I see super poly. This is where people really struggle the most against super poly. Okay, Droll is something else I want to discuss here. I also discuss it. The best way to play around Droll is through Droll. Let them Droll you. This deck doesn't fucking care about Droll. Q specials from deck, mix and Rico add from grave. As long as you could summon Zalin remix under Droll, you ignore Droll. You ignore Droll as long as Zalin remix can be done through Droll. Anywho, so this resolves and you look at their hand. By the way, Q must always be chain link 1. I cannot fucking stress this enough. Using Q without knowing their hand through Rotary is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. And I'm 33 years old, so I heard some stupid shit in my time. I also look at Kewl Tune Facebook groups, so I see stupid shit all the time. Listen very closely. By using Q without looking at their opponent's hand, it's the most useless Q in the world. If you know their hand, how could you give them a top deck without knowing their hand? You could give them a hand trap, or you could, like, let's say you have a Droplet Ash Blossom. I'm just gonna do, let's say Crown Ash Blossom. How do you know what they already have? Are you gonna give them an Ash Blossom to stop your KTS for fucking free? What if they already have a crown? You give them a crown. What if they already have 3 normal summons and you give them a 4th normal? Like, what if they have 3 normal summons in their hand? You look at the top deck is Rico and Imperm. Oh, I'll give you Imperm. Are you stupid? Like, you could literally look at their hand and judge accordingly with what you give. That makes Q essentially a Cyframe Lord Omega. You give them quite literally a fucking useless card 95% of the time based on their hand. But without that hand knowledge, it's not useless. It could be it's who knows what it is. People respect Harmonia too much. They go Maker as a non-chain link because they can't get Harmonian. I want to get Harmonian right now. If you don't Harmonian now, if you don't get Harmonian now, you gotta deal with Harmonian on your turn. It makes your remix Zalin way more difficult to have perfectly get back-to-back summons perfectly. Alright? You want them to do that. Anywho, as for the other Super Poly, anti-Super Poly play. Rico resolves here to add Clip. You just pass right now. You go JJ to put up another monster, because just in case you want to go RS. You go set 3 pass. So when you draw, ha ha ha, ah ha ah ha ah ha ha ha, have fun. When you draw all engine, really think about this logically. What can your opponent do in this exact game state? Draw phase. Is your opponent going to do fuck all? Why would your opponent Super Poly 2 random monsters? So what you want to do and kind of set up is the moment they you could do KTS right now. Like, let's say you go KTS, not mix. You want to keep a mix in the deck. You go KTS, add Q to get mix. You Q, banish something random. You do this in draw phase to set up remix immediately. At this exact moment, now you're in the Super Poly range. It's a good time for them to super. You could do this in draw phase, but what you have to do is depends on their hand. You Rotary and Q. You know exactly what they got. Okay, they got Super Poly, they got some shitter, and they got 3 pushes. You could wait for them to summon something first to trigger the mix pop, or let's say you really need Ash or to make it, you want them to do it now, you can do it like this. I would say wait for a summon to just trigger a free pop from Mix. So you got Mix, free pop, and then you put up this to try to Ash. Let's say they're gonna pry out Super Poly. Hey, they don't want Remix to resolve. I totally understand. On resolution, you KTS for another Mix, and you just summon Remix again. This time you could pop again. You could pop the DCS if you need, pop a MST accordingly. But this is how you set it up, and now you just continue with your plays. Now you add the Ash Blossom. You add a level 2. You could Crackle if you want, depending on their hand, but I'm going to show you a better play here to be more safe, because some decks don't care about Crackle. What you do instead is you summon a Rico, and the Rico in the field, and the clip goes into RS. RS will negate something, and the Rico that you just summoned off the remix will add back the clip. And then what you're going to do is after RS negate, so they have 3 pushes left, by the way. So Imperm Ash deals with 2 of them, Remix deals with another, and then just in case when they have something big, you go clip RS into Zalin, clip effect resolve, Zalin negate their card. You want to do that when they're resolving a chain link like Murakumo. That way through Super Poly, you always have everything, even when you don't draw hand traps, because that's when Super Poly hurts the most. When you don't draw hand traps, you have all the engine, this is when it hurts the most. Alright! That's it for today's video. There's so much more to discuss. It's actually insane. In this video, I have multiple different rulings as well for you guys to look at, and just everything you need to know. It's a total of 52 pages that you need to know, and that's it for today, guys. I'm seeing a lot of the information's on the class. There's a lot of substance on the class. There's 60 replays of a database upon joining. That's it for today's video. I will see you guys in about an hour and a half. I can't wait to show this. I'm very passionate about this deck. I love Kewl Tune, and I can't wait to show it with you guys. Join the class below where you're going to learn everything you need about Kewl Tune. I spent 100 hours on this, guys. I miss Columbia for this. I let fucking Julian get his ring. That's my nemesis right now, because I had an incredible, like, the best start to a season ever, and he's having one of the best near endings ever. So we're in contention right now for the best season in Yu-Gi-Oh! So I need to make sure I win in Nats ASAP. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you guys in an hour and a half. Kewl Tune best deck. Later! Bye!